Hello friends, welcome to my channel ELS English Literature Studies with Kaur Harpreet. Today we'll discuss about what is poetry. Actually, literature has three major forms: poetry, drama, and prose. Right? Most of we can say notes or most of material related to drama is already discussed on my channel, and today I will start about poetry. Poetry has 10 major forms, and these will be discussed one by one in my upcoming videos, so stay tuned. And in today's topic I will discuss about poetry and how life and poetry are inseparable from each other, or we can also say what is the value of poetry in human life, right? And let me tell you one thing, that I have one video that is totally based on MCQs related to poetry. I will try my best to give you a link of that MCQs in my description box. If you are interested, you can go through those questions also. I think there are 12 or 15 questions, and those questions are totally based on poetry. So let us start with today's video. Firstly, we will talk about poetry. What is poetry? When we talk about poetry's main aim is to share ideas, right? And express emotions. Like other forms of literature, its aim is to, we can say, share ideas, express emotions, and create imagery. And poets choose their words and then arrange them to create a tempo, which is known as meter. And some poems incorporate rhyme schemes with two or more lines that end in like sounding words. Or we can also say that poetry is a particular type of literature which is based on the interplay of words strung together to form sounds, images, and ideas that might be too complex or abstract to describe directly. Then Geoffrey Chaucer is widely considered as the greatest English poet of the Middle Ages. He has been called as father of English poetry. He is best known for his work, The Canterbury Tales. Then there are three main kinds of poetry: narrative, dramatic, and lyrical. It is not always possible to make distinction between these three kinds of poetry. For example, an epic poem can contain lyrical passages, or a lyrical poem can contain narrative parts. So it is not possible to define a line or make distinction between these, right? And in when if we talk about poetry in its broad sense, it is an imaginative and aesthetic recreation of the world. And as I told you that it is not possible to confine poetry within the limits of one definition. So different poets have their own views regarding poetry. Let us first of all talk about T.S. Eliot. According to T.S. Eliot, poetry is not a turning loose of emotion but an escape from emotion. It is not the expression of personality but an escape from personality. But of course, only those who have personality and emotions know what it means to want to escape from these things, right? When we talk about Wordsworth, then he says that poetry is a spontaneous overflow of powerful emotions. It takes its origin from emotions recollected in tranquility. Then we have Matthew Arnold, and his views regarding poetry are: poetry is at bottom a criticism of life, that the greatness of a poet lies in his powerful and beautiful application of ideas to life, to the question how to live. According to William Hazlitt, poetry is all that is worth remembering in life, right? And how we can forget Aristotle? According to Aristotle, the chief function of poetry is to give pleasure to the reader. In his Poetics, he says that imitation, harmony, and rhythm of poetry are made for pleasure. Both Roman and Greek civilizations, when we talk about these two civilizations, they believed that after God, the only creator is the poet, and they placed a great value in that art of poetry. They called poets poets and defined them as a diviner, foreseer, or a prophet also. They believed writing poetry to be a divine gift based on God's ability to create. Sidney writes, "There is no art delivered to mankind that hath not the works of nature for his principal object, without which they could not consist, and on which they so depend, as they become actors and players, as it were, of what nature will have set forth." He also claims that poetry could not exist without nature. as inspiration, and because nature is a direct result of God's creativity, poetry has a certain sense of divinity that cannot be ignored, right? He further summarizes his ideas when he says that poetry was never intended to rival the value of other forms of writing. He claims that poetry has more of a place in society than other sciences and writing styles. When we talk about the main function of poetry, or what is the main function of a poem through poetry, the main function is to convey an idea or emotion in beautiful language. It paints a picture of what the poet feels about a thing, person, idea, concept, or even an object. He wants to paint a picture through his poetry, right? And before this is very clear from these all these ideas that life and poetry are inseparable from each other. And like we have poets like William Wordsworth. They talk about when we talk about the greatness of their ideas, they tell us that poetry lies in the powerful and beautiful application of ideas to life. When Wordsworth says that of truth, of grandeur, beauty, love, and hope, and melancholy fear subdued by faith, of blessed consolation in distress, of moral strength and intellectual power, right? So we can say that life and poetry are inseparables, and one cannot exist without the other. And so, friends, this is all about my today's content about poetry. And I hope you will like the content. And if you like it, please hit the like button, share and subscribe my channel. And if you're new to my channel, please hit the bell button so that you can get notifications for my upcoming videos. And thanks a lot for watching.